We've come to the climactic ending of Mark's gospel. From this point on, it's nearly impossible to describe all of the details of what happened to Jesus as he was hauled in front of the high priest and then before Pilate. Within a few hours, he'll be on the cross. By nightfall, his body will be in a tomb. Of course, Sunday was coming. The resurrection will change everything for those disciples and for followers of Jesus for centuries to come. I'm so glad you've made it this far in our study, and I hope you'll do something really important as we move forward. In addition to learning what we can from the land of the Bible, now I hope you'll pay attention to what Jesus has to say on this, the last day of his life. Jesus never stopped quoting scripture. He never stopped turning his followers back to the text. Even in the hearing before Caiaphas, it was a scripture quotation that aroused the fury from his enemies. Now that's important for you and me, because you see, the better we know the Bible, the better we'll understand all these things that Jesus had to say. And that will have an impact on how we live. You will see a stunning example of this in today's lesson. When Mark wrote about the hearing before Caiaphas, he painted a picture of two trials going on simultaneously. Inside the home of the high priest, Jesus was on trial for his life. Outside the home, in the courtyard, Simon Peter was facing a different kind of trial. Unfortunately, Simon Peter denied Jesus loudly and often. For all the bluster he had shown in trying to be courageous, in the end, fear turned him into a coward. Though it's impossible to see where Jesus was sentenced to death, one assumption about buildings in the city is safe to make. The home of the high priest would have had several large doors and windows that would have been open to the courtyard. So anyone in the courtyard could hear what was going on inside the home as Jesus was being interrogated. That's why Simon Peter had come to the courtyard. He knew he could hear the proceedings if he could just get close enough to the house. But that open-air arrangement means that people inside the building could also hear what was going on in the courtyard. This means Jesus was able to hear the denials of his number one disciple. Luke tells us that right after Simon's third denial, even as the rooster was crowing, the Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. And Simon went outside and wept bitterly. It will not be the last time on that day when people wept bitterly. The hearing at the home of Caiaphas was a sham, but technically, since it was not an official trial, it may not have been illegal, but the spirit of the hearing was completely slanted. It violated several Jewish customs that were designed to promote fair trials. But the high priest and his cronies were clearly ready to be done with Jesus. They took him to Pilate and used every form of political manipulation they had to get Pilate to condemn their prisoner. Only Pilate could legally hand down the death penalty. But to state an obvious truth, if the religious leaders had not taken Jesus to Pilate, there would have been no verdict that day. So the hearing was, for all intents and purposes, a trial. So what happened that tipped the scales against Jesus? What happened that set that room in an uproar? Why was there such a mad rush to nail Jesus to a stake in the midst of a joyful holiday? The answer to those questions comes in the question and answer moment when Caiaphas asked Jesus the one question we've all wanted answered. Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One? Jesus said, I am. He could have stopped there, but he did not. Jesus said something else, and this is what I want you to hear. Do not miss what Jesus said next. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven. It was at that moment that the room erupted in fury and anger and noise. It was at that moment when Jesus sealed his own fate. Because of this rather strange statement, Jesus would be dead before the sun dropped below the horizon. Well, here's what happened. Jesus was quoting scripture, a well-known passage from the writings of Daniel. He only quoted a portion of the passage, but everyone in that room understood what he was saying. The 7th chapter of Daniel may be the most vivid description of the day of judgment in the entire Old Testament. In that passage is this: In my vision at night, I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshiped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. Standing before Caiaphas, Jesus didn't stop with claiming to be the Messiah. He claimed to be the Son of Man who would rule at the side of the Ancient of Days. If he was being judged by Caiaphas today, by quoting the scripture, Jesus told Caiaphas that the day would come when the high priest would bow before Jesus. And Caiaphas tore his clothes. Grown men started hitting Jesus. They slapped him, they spat upon him, they yelled at him, and then they handed him over to the guards who were even better equipped to beat him. Jesus had quoted a scripture passage, and the people in that room knew exactly what he was saying. But unless you know the context of this passage, that kind of detail will almost certainly slip past you. But once you see it, boy, that's the kind of thing that's impossible to forget. So keep your ears open as we go forward, for Jesus will, even on the cross, try to communicate with us through the words of Scripture. And I promise you, you do not want to miss what Jesus has to say.